So I'm going to start with our tech squad over there. Are there hits from our email and or Facebook that we can start with for the parent and community involvement?
Yes. There's a question via email from Nora, who's a parent in Pasadena. What sort of outreach is being implemented to inform and support parents of lower achieving students and schools?
Okay. So let's talk first about the outreach that's needed for those students. So Angelique, can you identify what kind of outreach is needed for students who are low performing or less engaged in your school?
I think that brings about the program that just came to our school called Outward Bound Adventures. They moved on to our campus. They haven't fully started up and running yet because they're still at their current location, but they will be at our location soon. It's a nonprofit organization for community-based kids to join in. They go on camping trips, rock climbing, everything, anything you name it, they do it. I feel that that sort of program will engage students into actually getting involved with the community because they are a community-based program. I think that that program right there is just exactly what every kid needs in their life, especially also being that if they don't have somebody in their life. So.
Very good. Thank you, Angelique. Myra, can you talk about that for us, please?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Myra, can you talk to us about what it would take to engage and involve the less involved or the underperforming student and their family into the school community's activities?
Well, I can just speak to you from experience. My mom didn't know a lick of English when she came, and she wanted to know what was going on in the school. She has always told me, just open your mouth and ask. So she opened her mouth and asked, and she was able to get the answer and you know, help us out that way. There's no reason why a high-achieving kid or a low-achieving kid cannot get the help that they need or the attention that they need. If the parent's there, if the parent wants their kid to move forward, they're going to ask and they're going to find out. And there's translations, there's translators, there's pamphlets in English and Spanish, Armenian, Chinese, in every language that you can think of. And if it's not in your language, ask for it and you'll get the answer.
Good. Is there another question from our Techno squad?
Yes. Let's see. Okay, via text. What's needed to, actually, how do you address the loss of students in the past several years from the district? What's needed to ensure that our families remain with PUSD?
So, Mr. Diaz, please.
Yeah, I think, well, one of the things we're experiencing as we speak is the fact that if you continue to lose students, then you have to reduce the number of schools that you actually have. And so that's one of the ways we're adjusting to the loss. The other, but how do we keep kids in PUSD? Mm-hmm. How do we make PUSD attractive to others who haven't considered public schools? My basic answer is always, you do very well with the kids who are currently attending your schools. And so to the greatest extent that kids who attend our schools have positive, engaging, successful experiences, that is the way to attract others who currently don't attend our school district. And so that should be our focus, is focus on the kids that we currently have, and that will eventually attract others who haven't considered public education in our area. There are other things that you do, like offer programs that are much more engaging and exciting for people that aren't offered in every school district or at private schools. For example, our dual immersion program, both at San Rafael and Burbank. Those programs have drawn families who haven't considered PUSD in the past. We have, I truly believe that our career and college pathways programs will attract families who haven't considered PUSD in the past. I'm certain robotics will be a draw at the middle school. I'm certain our IB program is a draw for some folks. And there's a variety of different programs that we're now beginning to offer that I think are attractive. But the basic thing is, let's make sure that the kids who are attending our schools are successful, and that's our path to increasing enrollment.
Very good. We've got a question from a studio audience member. Soleil? Raise your hand again for us. She's got a critical question around parent involvement, and this is our point here now. Parent involvement, the power of community and parent involvement.
Okay. I'm supposed to read it? Okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. My question was, how do we raise, let's see, what was the question?
How are you going to how do we increase the high expectations for our students? How can parents do that with a parent engagement model in your backdrop? What would you recommend? I want to start with our parent and go to our teacher. How can parents increase high expectations for their children?
Increase. I think you need to focus on your student. I think you need to be attentive and make sure that they're doing their homework and that they're participating in class. And one of the ways to do that is by, being involved. You can hold your student up to very high standards, but without the support of the parent and the teacher, they're not going to get there, because the students do need that, the support of the teacher and the parent. So those are my 2 cents.
Thank you. And Tina?
Yeah. I really appreciate that question. I think that there needs to be communication that happens from day one. It's incumbent upon me to share with parents what is going on with their child or the children in my classroom, and that needs to be timely and needs to be responsive to any needs that pop up. It means phone calls, it means emails, it means maintaining a website, all sorts of pieces of information that need to be in place for parents to be able to access that information. It also means for parents to come and communicate with me through those measures, coming to my classroom door, asking for some time to sit down. And I think that it also includes putting that student in between the parent and the teacher and problem solving together. Because when we remove the child or the youth from that discussion, we're removing them from responsibility. And they need to be a part of it. That's their power. They need to be brought into that discussion. They need to recognize where they're doing well. They need to recognize where they need to improve. And so as a team together, that can take place. It can be something that's done very quickly, and sometimes it's something that takes a longer period of time. But definitely that communication piece has to be there.
Thank you, Tina. Are there questions from our emails around the power of parent and community involvement?
Yes, via text. What plans are there to train district staff on genuine stakeholder engagement?
So let's start with Bob, and then we'll go to Superintendent Diaz. Bob Harrison, you want to?
Well, I know in I don't know if the genuine part of it. I know that this has been a focus and continues. That we need to do a better job of it to making sure. And I think so much of it is involved in our communication that is coming from our district staff to our administrators at the sites, that they are building in parent engagement strategies with each of their school plans. And so each school may be doing it a little bit differently and utilizing some of the other programs that are available for them. But it really becomes part of the school plan to really create a culture around this, that it's not just something we do, or it is something we do automatically, that's just a big part of how we do schools.
Mr. Diaz?
Yeah, it's clear that the role of principals and teachers and administrators at the district office is changing to a role of helping to reach out, establish relationships, and managing those relationships in order to create good involvement and good engagement. And so knowing that, we have started a staff development program with all of our leadership in the district, and we're going to be expanding it to teachers at school sites, called facilitative leadership. And that's really around establishing the protocols and the processes for meaningful engagement to take place, similar to what's happening this evening. So that is the specific training that we're implementing in the district. It's called facilitative leadership. All of our principals and administrators have gone through 2 full days of training. We have 4 trainers who have gone through extensive training and are now trained to go out to schools and to work with parents and to work with staff, and really making sure that the processes are well defined for parent and community engagement and help facilitate those processes.
Very good.